hip-hop and R&B Monday. The iPower Evening Show. iPower 1 FM.
It's the iPower Evening Show on this Monday night. At this time, we read your emails from what we like to call the email bag. In the fourth hour, we read your emails every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you have an important topic to discuss, whether news, sports, or entertainment, or free your mind on Fridays, go to our official website, iPower1FM.com, and click the email bag. When I read your emails, Ricky and Raphael are also reading along from their homes while social distancing. We pick out the emails to read on the air that are appropriate exclusively here on the iPower Show. Y'all want to talk about the Black Militia movement down in Atlanta and Louisiana called the NFAC. Stands for Not Effing Around Coalition. Didn't say the whole F word because this is national radio.
Well, bleep this out, my brother. It stands for Not F***ing Around Coalition. Yeah, I said it.
He said it, not me.
Yes, sir. They're not f***ing around. Hell no.
Now, if this was a podcasting, yeah, I would say the whole word.
Of course.
Now, this group is similar to the new Black Panther Party, something like a black militia movement. But their mentality is way different from the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white nationalists. Let's not waste no time and read your emails. Good evening, fam. Now, as a black man in America, I don't have a problem with our brothers and sisters in this black militia movement. Their mindsets are way different from what we've seen from these white nationalists who are carrying out terrorisms towards black people who just want to live their own lives without being framed by this racist government, dying in vain in the hands of white supremacy. Now, I don't advocate violence, period. I do want peace in our society. Like that 12-year-old black man said, I just want to live. That's it.
I just want to live. Little man got talent there.
Right. D. Johnson from Baltimore, Maryland. I'll respond in a minute, reading more of your emails. Good evening, iPower. I'm so proud of our brothers and sisters, part of this Black Power movement of love for our people, protecting us from harm's way. As a black woman, I don't advocate violence at all. Violence doesn't solve anything. However, we as black people shouldn't have to die for nothing just for jogging in a neighborhood stopped and killed by white nationalists. Not all black people are criminals, and being black is not a crime. I'm so glad that the NFAC is going nationwide to protect us and just living our lives and minding our own business, taking care of our families. We have rights to live too. And I say, these militant brothers and sisters, you have my blessing in the name of Jesus. Sharonda Forbes from the ATL. Thanks for that email, Sharonda Forbes from Atlanta, and D. Johnson from B-More. Look, and to our white listening audience, please don't take this the wrong way. We are not talking about you. We're not talking about our white allies, our white brothers and sisters who are against racism.
No, we're not.
White people and white supremacy are two different people.
Yep.
I have met a lot of white people who are against the injustice and racism, but can't stand Trump, period.
Exactly.
This black militia movement, the NFAC, they are not out there to burn down white people's businesses, your churches, or randomly killing white people.
No.
Because of the color of your skin or what your beliefs are.
Exactly.
That's not what this militant group is all about.
Absolutely. I understand where our brothers and sisters in the NFAC movement and what their goals are to protect black people in this country who want to live their lives peacefully without being harassed, intimidated, and have racial slurs thrown in our faces based out of hate for another person's skin color.
Right.
Because like I said earlier in the second hour, you have Trump supporting patriotic Americans carrying live ammunition in front of these state houses in Michigan and in Wisconsin, demanding that these states open up for business during this COVID-19 pandemic. Police officers did not bother them nor arrest them.
No.
So now that our black militant brothers are out there going by the book, going by the law under these gun open carry states where it's legal, that's now problematic for you all of a sudden? How about those same officers keep that same energy for these brothers and sisters with guns legally?
Right.
Just like how y'all protect these Second Amendment gun-toting Trump supporters. Yep. Turnabout is fair play.
Look, I don't advocate violence neither.
Yeah.
But if the police is not going to protect us as black people or a person of color, what choice do we have but to have these brothers and sisters out there protecting us?
Exactly.
And I myself don't want to see a race war.
No.
I don't want to see any of this race war go down because it seems that this is what some of the white nationalists want.
Of course.
And that would be devastating to this country.
For real.
We got some more emails. I want to ask you liberals something. Why do you hate America? Why do you hate our country? And what gives these blacks the right to arm themselves and try to take over our country by terrorizing innocent white whites and our police officers in this country. These militant blacks are part of the Black Lives Matter movement because they want to overthrow our government. I mean, why does all lives matter offend you people so much? You people?
Excuse
Get that
me?
tape. This is why Trump will win re-election, making sure blacks stay home and not attend these polling booths if they were smart. This is Trump's America, and you'll take what we give you to make this country great again. Bob,
What?
the Great American from Cobb County, Georgia.
I beg your pardon?
Wow, these hillbilly hicks. I'm
Hit
telling
that
you.
tape. Billy Bob, I'm surprised you found this online radio station.
Right.
Heard in the ATL by our listeners as I read your email. You talk about putting blacks in our places by not showing up at the polling stations and not voting for our candidate.
What?
And asking, why do we hate America? First of all, I don't hate America. I always loved America, even though America never loved us back as black people.
Correct.
But let that go. For you to say that this black militia movement is out there to terrorize whites and law enforcement, to me, that's called exaggeration in the brain, if you think about it.
Yep.
Because black people does not have a history of burning down a majority of white-owned businesses
Nope.
based out of hate compared to Black Wall Street.
Yes, sir. That's the same thing what Minister Louis Farrakhan said on the Donahue show, that black people does not have a history of burning down white-owned businesses,
Right.
burning down white churches, burning down a whole entire white community, just like how Black Wall Street was burned down and bombed by angry racist rioters.
Right.
And Billy Bob, the Great American, where do you come off saying you people? And you
people.
gonna make sure that black people stay home during the election to make sure Trump wins re-election to make America great again? Well, first of all, I don't need the white man's validation on how I feel and when I should vote as a black man, sir.
That's
And
right.
you ask, why does all lives matter offend us as black people? Well, it's obviously to me that black lives never mattered in this country for decades, ever since y'all brought us here against our will by your colonizing ancestors, sir. And I don't want to hear that BS about black slave owners had more slaves than whites.
Right.
And like I said, your validation on how you see us means nothing, sir, because you don't validate us as black people based out of your hatred for us in the name of white supremacy. And you wonder why these black militias are out here going by the book and not breaking any laws to protect us.
And when y'all Trumputos out there say that all lives matter, please specify who you're talking to.
Yeah, that's
because
what
it
I'm
seems
saying.
like to me that black and brown people most likely to get our asses light up by the police more than whites.
Hello?
So once again, who does all lives matter apply to?
Surely not us Negroes and some Hispanics out there.
Nope.
And by the way, the NFAC is not down with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Right.
Because of the infiltration of some of the members of the Antifa movement who has a way different agenda than Black Lives Matter to take down systemic racism their own way. But black people are the ones of being the scapegoats, burning down businesses, setting police cars on fire, when some whites are doing that, blaming Black Lives Matter for it, for someone else's crime, who's really not for our black agenda.
Exactly.
All right, we got this final email. Good evening, iPower family. As a Jewish white person, I'm not ashamed to say that I was born with white privilege. I was born into a middle class, and I'm from Generation Z, where the majority of young whites, like myself, are fed up with the systemic racism in this country. Besides American history, I studied black history, went to the Smithsonian African American Museum, besides the Jewish Museum down in Washington, D.C., about the hell that black people have suffered by the hands of white supremacy. I've seen what's going on with the black militia movement down in Atlanta and Louisiana, and they are only out there to protect the lives of African Americans who just want to live peacefully, just like our white counterparts who are in corporate businesses and live the American dream. My goal as an 18-year-old is to educate white people from my generation about the original Black Panther Party and their rights for freedom and equality for black people. And it's not fair for just Trump supporters to carry guns for intimidation and not African Americans who are mostly law-abiding citizens. Just like us white Jewish Americans, blacks, African Americans deserve to have access to wealth that was stolen from them to build their own businesses in their communities and live out the American dream instead of living in fear of the KKK and white nationalists are doing by trying to turn back the clock under this racist administration. Julia Wolf from Borough Park, Brooklyn. Thanks, Julia Wolf from Borough Park, Brooklyn. Look, I keep on saying this. This Generation Z, with young white people getting involved with Black Lives Matter. Julia, whose email I just read, is a young Jewish white woman, 18 years old, studied black history on why black people have been depressed for so many years under this thing called systemic racism in this country. At least she gets it.
Right.
At least some young white folks from this Generation Z movement gets it. They are tired of white supremacy, and they're using their white privilege to combat this hatred.
I love it. I love it. And our white brothers and sisters out there, being born with white privilege does not automatically make you a racist. No.
Oh, no.
It's
No.
how you use your white privilege to combat systemic racism in this country and a different thought process compared to white racist bigots who abuse their white privilege for all the wrong reasons to oppress and murder black and brown people in the name of white supremacy. Now, that's a big, huge difference.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And that should do it for the email bag.